Hey, yo, yo.
Back hero.
Yo, check it. This my special attack, 100 swords, 100 episodes, and here's to 100 more. Who got next? Place your change on the cabinet. Air Combo University graduates juggle my enemies before tagging in the Masters hero. Pros in action, toe tagging champions getting active. The message will always get near you. Return to the dream team, Spider-Man and Strider hear you. When the mask is on, I can't promise Cyclops to keep his glasses on. The handshake was potent. The inner glow shown as a mega optic blast, trailing behind the Shinku Hadouken. How you gon' dodge both of them? Blast you down to the last atom. Best regards from the proton cannon you couldn't fathom. If you were raised on gaming and put a controller up, I'm old enough to study the meta before I bless you. We understood space in the dash clean. Now we need the Justin Wong poster right next to the pro athletes. Final justice like a primary lotus from out the sky. Stars and stripes reminding you racism is still alive. Bring a plasma sword to a gunfight. Hayato, bring a hurricane kick. Tatsumaki Sentakyu. One time for all my otakus who played the console till their eyes closing. Probably forgot to study for their finals. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash.
It did. Yak. Captain. Yeah. Boom. Wagwan. Wait. No, you're not. Hold up. I can fix that though. And this is live, see, but I'll fix it on the fly. Ah, there we go. We're back. But you're not back. Ooh. Now you are. Yeah.
Okay, good. Hey,
solved.
The SwordCast is officially back. We're to the second episode in a row.
Right.
Back to old times, maybe.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Thank y'all for tuning in. SwordCast is back. Episode 157. Boom.
Really?
I
what
think
a
so.
weird number. Like,
yeah.
Is there any professional athlete that has the number 57?
57. That's kind of a linebacker number.
Right. Penei Sewell, maybe.
Who is 57 now? The Vikings had a linebacker back when I was a kid named Dwayne Rudd. That was 57. That's kind of a super deep cut. That's like
knowledge.
Early 2000s. Yeah.
Ricky Jackson. Do you know who that is?
Nope. But I do know 57 is a definitely.
Clay Matthews.
Yeah, there you go. That's a linebacker.
Reggie Williams, Mo Lewis, Jeff Van Note. I don't know who that is.
It's a white neck roll linebacker number.
Neck roll.
Dudes with the neck roll on.
Jeff Van Note. Funny. Bro.
Jeff Van Note.
Doug, this is a hilarious deep cut memory that only Edmund will get. But there was one time we were playing. You remember NFL Quarterback Club 98?
Quarterback Club?
Quarterback?
I do. It was Mike Vick, Donovan McNabb, Warren Moon, Randall Cunningham. No,
NFL Quarterback Club 98.
Yes,
we used to play that shit. And it had to create a character, create your player mode. And I didn't know shit about. I still don't know a lot about football, but I really didn't know anything about football then. And I asked Edmund, I was like, hey, what's the neck roll for? Like, why do they have a neck roll? And mind you, we're like 7 years old. So he looked at me, he was just like, I don't know. I guess it's so that their neck won't break. And I was like, you know what? That's actually what it's there for.
That's exactly what it's there for.
But like, why are they being put in a position where their neck might break?
Football, car crash, every play. Oh man, anyways. Hilarious. What are you into currently,
bro? I got a couple of things, bro. I'm gonna do a quick hitter first.
Hero's not going to work tomorrow because he's gonna play video games.
Well, I'll get to that in a second. That's not why I might not go to work tomorrow, and I'll get to that in a second. The quick hitter is I'm into this anime called Mashley. Have you seen
Mashley? No.
Yeah, bro. It's on Crunchyroll. It's sort of in the One Punch Man.
I actually haven't watched a new anime in a minute. I'm like, all I do is watch old samurai movies that make me sad.
Like, I don't mean to laugh, but that shit was, I'm not expecting you to say that.
It's like, man, just make a different decision.
Right? Man. No, dog.
Nope.
Tragedy
I gotta die.
Only. Mashley. It's in the vein of like One Punch Man style.
Oh,
like,
and it's called Mashley.
Mashle.
Oh, do you know what studio made it, or was it a manga, or was it? Just...
I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know the studio either. But the animation is good. But it's funny. It's in that One Punch Man style of like sort of critique, like parody. And it's about it's basically One Punch Man mixed with Harry Potter.
Dog, this junk called Magic and Muscles,
bro. It's literally a Harry Potter parody where this kid goes to a magical school. It's literally exactly like Harry Potter. They even have like the 3 houses and everything, and they've got like their version of Quidditch. But the only problem is he's the opposite of Harry Potter, and that he's the only one in the world that can't use magic. So instead, this nigga just work out. This nigga just work out and lift a bunch of weights, and he just strong as hell. And he just be scrapping, bro.
Why is he in a wizard school?
Dog, I don't know. I haven't gotten that far. But he just strong and like just be like punching people. Like that's how he gets around having to use magic. Like, so they were playing Quidditch, or their version of Quidditch.
Do magic.
So this is how he got his broom to fly. This nigga stomped on the ground super hard and it flew up into his hand, and then he threw it. And then just ran and jumped on it and like rode it while it was in the air. It was hilarious, bro.
I can't do magic, but I can make these hands
disappear. Bro, I can't do magic, but I'm fucking strong. And all I do is work out all the time. It's hilarious. It's so funny, bro.
I love that. I'm not going to lie.
So I've been watching that. Man, the reason why I'm not going to work tomorrow is because I am in a fucking full Nelson about this goddamn NBA draft. Y'all know how I get about the draft, but this is the worst that it's ever been. This is the worst that it's ever been.
How could this possibly be worse than last year?
Because I didn't have the Kings picking ahead of me.
Yeah, you did. Last year, the Kings.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like this year we don't. But the Rockets are not.
Yeah, but they're not the Kings.
Yeah. Well, they're also not a lot better than the Kings though either. So
yeah,
I think we have arrived at a place now where the guy that I want seems to be the betting favorite for who Detroit is going to pick. This draft has been sort of easy to predict. Everybody knows that Victor's going number 1. They know that some version of Scoot and Brandon Miller are going 2 and 3. It's probably going to be Miller 2, Brandon Miller, or Scoot 3.
I don't know if Scoot's going to go 3, man. He is like...
Yeah, he's a machine.
The problem is the team doesn't need...
That's why they want to go Miller.
Yeah.
That's why they're going to go Miller. So... the Blazers are probably going to go. He's not going to fall below the Blazers. Like, there's no chance that happens. And they might trade that pick to New Orleans, because I'm hearing that he wants to go to New Orleans for whatever they want to give up to help Dame rebuild. Because Dame, and I love Dame, that's one of my favorite players, but he's loyal to a fault to Portland.
He is. I think I kind of was feeling like he would be out of there this season coming up. But.
Yeah, doesn't seem likely. Anyways. So 4 is where the draft starts. By all indications, the Rockets will pick Amin Thompson at 4. That's what everybody's saying. And if that happens, that means that Asar Thompson, Cam Whitmore, and J.R.S. Walker will all be there at 5. Y'all should know enough about my sensibilities now to know who I would puke, whose pants I would shit if they picked this certain player. Do not go get me the versatile Swiss Army knife defender that can't shoot or score. Not with the top 5 pick, man. Like, I know Jarris Walker is probably going to be a solid player, but the Pistons don't need they don't need a glue guy, bro. They need a fucking star still. They need another star. You can't have too many. And they would have to pass on Cam Whitmore and Asar Thompson to do that.
Yeah, don't get weird.
Now, I was really all in on Cam Whitmore at first, but I've been hearing that his stock has fallen because he's worked out poorly. I would still be fine if they took Cam Whitmore because he's the better shooter out of the two. But I think Asar is the guy, bro. Like, he's a crazy. They say him and his brother will immediately come into the league and be like the top 5 athletes in the whole league, like day one. I believe in them both. I like Asar's fit for Detroit a lot better. So that is what I'm hoping they will do. And it seems likely, all the indications, all the betting odds are indicating, at least at this moment, that Asar will be the pick that the Pistons make. I'm like afraid to get back on Twitter because I don't want the news to change and be like, actually they're gonna trade the pick down to fucking 9 and 16 and pick 2 bums. Like, no, and that's like
possible.
Something that people have been talking about. Bro, you don't trade out of a top 5 pick, bro. You don't, like, there's almost no reason to do that because the value proposition is just rarely going to be high enough to justify it. So I feel more confident right now. Yesterday I was fucking, like, my stomach was in knots because I thought we were going to pick Jarris Walker. Like, look, man, Pistons fans need to get over, and I'm going to hurt a lot of OG Pistons fans' feelings here. But y'all need to stop with this hard hat, going to work defensive identity bullshit.
I agree.
That shit is so boring, bro. You cannot do that in the modern NBA.
In the current NBA.
Go get me an electric scorer that averages 30. You want to be relevant? That's how you be relevant. Even the Grizzlies, who were that hard-nosed team, they had Ja Morant. He averaged, like, before he started flashing guns, he averaged like 28 and 9. He was amazing.
What a clown.
Knucklehead. But he at least, like, was exciting. You can't be this hard-nosed, defensive, muck-it-up ass team. Don't nobody want to see that shit, bro. Like, I'm sorry. I know we love that in Detroit, but we need to stop loving that. That shit is boring. You can't be weak on defense, but you also can't just be like, all right, I'm just going to fucking...
You can't play plant worker basketball.
Bro, they just be playing prison ball, bro. Like, that shit is not entertaining. Don't nobody want to see that shit, dog. These young fans that did not grow up,
play blue collar work boots,
bro. Put your fucking hard hat away and go put your buffs on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Go put your Belle Isle.
That's the name of the episode. Put your hard hat away
and put your buffs on, bro. Like, go get me a saucy 7 Mile and out of drive ass. What was the court I used to play at on the west side? I think damn, it was by Pershing High School. If anybody in the comments might know, like Conant and Nevada. Like, go get me one of them East Side ass niggas that got some sauce, bro. Like,
oh man,
come on, bro. I would puke. I would shit your pants. I would shit your pants if we fucking draft this nigga. So here's what I'm gonna do. This is what I wanted to get around to.
Oh,
because I'm so anxious. Well, I might as well make some content out of it. I'm going to go live on our Twitch during the NBA draft so y'all can see me just be in total like panic for like an hour straight. Because we also got the number 1 pick in the second round as well, and there's going to be some good players there. But man,
you think Bogey's going to get traded?
He could. It's possible. I would do it if I were Weaver. I would definitely do it. Because, you know, he's good and he's valuable, but he's not part of the future of this team, and he's on a great contract too, man. Like, yeah, you gotta trade him. He's a really high value piece. He's already 35 though, and by the time his contract's over, he's gonna be a corpse.
Right.
We're gonna be wheel him out on a wheelchair. So no, you got to get rid of. I mean, I love Bogey. He was a pleasant surprise, but also he doesn't fit the timeline of this team.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm gonna go live like around 8:00 on our Twitch. And we'll see if I survive. I will. It'll be fine. They're going to draft Asar. Come on. They're going to draft Asar.
The Pistons trade
They trade down into the second round and get nothing back in return. What is Troy Reaver thinking?
Oh, no. Don't speak.
Nah, not gonna be able to do it.
Not gonna be able to
No, we're not doing that. We're drafting Asar. He's gonna be a fucking player, and we're good.
Boom. Yeah, man. I've actually been, like I said, it was Father's Day.
Yeah, man. Happy Father's Day, brother.
I got the Lone Wolf. I love the Criterion Blu-ray sets, man. I got the Zatoichi one last year. I got the Lone Wolf and Cub one this year. Shout out to Josh. So I've been watching those all over again. I kind of said at the end of the last podcast episode that I had gone back and started watching the old Zatoichi movies again. And then, you know, I've actually recently gotten back into Transformers, man.
Facts.
My son, he, you know, we went to see, took him to see the Transformers Rise of the Beast movie, which we talked about last week. You know, and then he wanted me to show him the old Beast Wars cartoon because I was talking to him about Beast Wars and, you know, how that was my show back when I was a kid. And then when Beast Wars come out, like 96?
Yes, I believe so. Let me look it up though. 96 or 97.
And you know, and then just kind of thinking back and remembering like it was Reboot first, right?
Reboot was first,
and
yeah.
Then
So
Beast Wars.
Beast Wars was September of 1996. Yeah. And Reboot was 94.
94.
Damn.
That's insane. When
Reboot
you think
was
about
so fucking cold,
yeah,
man.
like when you think about the shows being entirely CGI animation.
Yep.
And like, so I was telling him about Beast Wars, and then he's been watching Beast Wars, and I've been watching it with him. One, great memories. Two, it's like this YouTube channel that's got Beast Wars in 4K, and it's like this. You know, it doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look bad, and it's like, I mean, it's in 4K, but it's also from 1996.
Yep.
And still looks good.
Bro,
cool,
I have
man.
this super vivid memory of eating breakfast, eating cereal in the upstairs in this very house, in the breakfast room, watching on one of them small ass TVs that you put on the table. Yeah.
Beast Wars, man.
Watching Beast Wars eat, and I remember exactly the cereal I was eating. I was eating honeycombs. It's a super vivid memory.
Right.
I remember like just having an association with that moment, and I even remember the episode. It was like, I don't remember the details, obviously,
Right.
but I remember like Chitara was like it was like an arc about Chitara.
Cheetor.
Cheetor, yeah. Chitara is Thundercats.
Thundercats. I have a cousin named Chitara, named after Chitara from the Thundercats.
That's super fire. And I have a friend from college named Chisara.
That's fire.
Who just had a dope name that was like similar to the Thundercats. She was one of the this is gonna sound ridiculous, but like we used to call her Chi. She was one of the first women that I had ever met that was like, and this is gonna sound like really caveman knuckle dragger of me. But you gotta admit, I was 19, I was like 17 at the time. I was young in college. And she was the first woman that I ever met that was legitimately a better athlete than me.
Right.
Like she was like 6'1". She was like my height.
That's humbling.
And just a fucking she was a beast, bro. I don't even want to like dehumanize her. She was just a fucking machine, bro. Like she was like noticeably like
toned up.
Like she had like kind of like a track. I'm not trying to sexualize it, but she had like a track body, like big strong legs, big arms, big chest, or like big like shoulders. And I was like, yo, she could probably whoop my ass. And I'm like a 15-year martial arts like veteran.
Right.
And she just like my size, except literally stronger than me.
That's
like
hilarious.
And I just remember being like really impressed with her. And she was really humble too. Like she didn't even really notice like how she, you know, I'm going on this tangent now. She reminded me of Elena from Street Fighter 3.
That's awesome.
She was super dope. Shout out to and she was also African as well. So perfect circle.
Fantastic. Boom. But yeah, man, Beast Wars, man. So it's kind of what I've been into, Transformers. We're gonna talk about this later, but I want to revisit all the Transformers movies, man. I think Transformers goes in that same bin as like Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joe and the X-Men and all the things and all the Marvel stuff that I was into as a kid. I was a big Transformers fan too, so I definitely plan on revisiting all those movies. I already watched one. We'll talk about it a little later. Optimus Prime's got the best voice ever.
Yep.
And the fact that they were able to get the same guy from the cartoons and do the films was an incredible touch, man, on those movies. But let's get into a quick wrestling recap. So we got Forbidden Door coming up. We got Money in the Bank coming up. Forbidden Door, man, I'm very excited.
This looked like it's going to be everything last year wasn't, because last year was a little disappointing.
Yeah, I think, just the injuries, man, right? And it's like, and AEW's very blatantly, like Kenny Omega wasn't even on Dynamite tonight, because it's like they are like, no.
Yeah. Don't you dare.
You're not even putting your boots on.
Yeah.
Like, sit down.
Be quiet and sit in this room and don't touch anything.
And I think it's it's pretty obvious they're kind of doing the same thing with Bryan Danielson. Like, he hasn't really wrestled in like months.
Yeah, like since the pay-per-view, I think.
And it's because before that he hasn't wrestled in months, and it's like he did the little Anarchy in the Arena match, but he didn't really do much.
Sure.
And you can tell that they're like protecting, like, nah, you're not getting hurt this year. Like, you are doing this match with Okada. You know what I'm saying? That match I'm very excited for that. Obviously, Omega Ospreay. They're starting to announce some more stuff. A lot of people are, it's weird is like last week we were talking, and I literally said like a dark horse like candidate for a good match with Sonata. I said Jungle Boy. And it's like everybody is hating that. They're hating that match, and I get it. If I were to name my dream opponents for that match, Jungle Boy wouldn't be in it. But as far as somebody, I think he would have a good match. Obviously, I think he'll have a good match.
Yeah, tough time for Cuzzo right now. He's getting a lot of hate because admittedly his promos still are a work in progress. But I think all he got to do is put on a good match.
Yeah,
like he'll shut people up.
And then I think fans, wrestling fans also got to realize this is two separate companies, and they're gonna want their guys to look strong,
to look good, right?
Sonata's not gonna lose IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, like what are y'all even mad about?
You know what I'm saying?
You think Jungle Boy's at age 23 is gonna win?
Yeah. So then it's also like AEW is, their guys they're gonna want their guys to look strong too. So they're not gonna send, I don't know, Adam Cole, who everybody loves so much. They're not gonna randomly send him out there to compete for I can't stand Adam Cole. Sorry, but they're not gonna send like a huge star to compete for that title, which it would be awesome if they did, but just realistic wise, it's not very likely to happen. So then it's like we're getting Tanahashi versus MJF, and it's like I think Forbidden Door really showed me that I don't care about MJF being AEW champion. And it took me a while to get here because I've was kind of for it at first, but it really showed me that I'm not an MJF fan. I don't care. And is a little, it's just kind of like.
Well, hold on, wait. I already know the road that you're gonna go down. You can't turn MJF into like a bad wrestler figure. Like
he's and it's like he's not a bad wrestler. He can wrestle, but the thing is, his entire just ethos as a person and as a wrestler. It just don't work for me. I don't
Sure,
care.
no, I'm with it.
And then it's like when you bring New Japan in it, like it really doesn't work. And like he's just really like he's just a weird matchup. You know what I'm saying? For
the champ, they gotta make him do something.
Yeah.
He's good, bro. Like I can't. I know what you're doing. If I don't check you on this, this is gonna turn into like you hating Adam Cole. I guarantee it, bro.
But I do hate Adam.
I know, but this is gonna turn into this thing where like all of a sudden it's like
bringing me
yeah, like you can't do that with MJF. He's too talented for that. He is, bro. Like he just simply is.
I mean,
it's okay to not like the character.
On the mic and says disrespectful stuff to the crowd, dog.
Bro. He's undeniable, dog. Like it's okay to not like the character and not be a fan. Like I don't know that I'm a fan, but you can't turn him into like, oh, MJF sucks. Like no, he doesn't suck.
He doesn't. I didn't say that. He's just not for me.
That's
don't
fair.
Care.
But I know you, bro. I love you. I know you. I know what's gonna happen. It's gonna go there eventually. If it keeps going,
it might already be.
See, I told you, dog. He's undeniable. Man. Like he's not. I'm not a fan of him either. But like,
I just don't care. I haven't cared since he's been the champion.
He's really good, man. Geez. Like he's probably their biggest star. Like that shit matters.
I just don't care. It's time for me. It's in my opinion. It's time. Money in the Bank. I think one thing that WWE is doing good is like it is a field of exciting names that
what you talking about?
Oh, I forgot.
I don't know how to do it.
Just money, just Money in the Bank. Now the field is exciting, right? I think men's is. I'm just gonna go off the top of my head. I'm sure I'm missing people, so don't. Well, actually, me. But Shinsuke's in it.
Hey. Well, actually,
LA Knight's in it. A lot of people love LA Knight.
He's just bootleg The Rock,
bro. He acts.
And he's not even as good of a Rock knockoff as Ricky Starks is.
Literally acts just like The Rock. LA Knight, Shinsuke, Damian Priest. I am not calling Pete Dunne Butch. So Pete Dunne.
What? They changed his name to Butch?
They've been changed his name to Butch. Yeah, like a year ago. Who else is in it? Ricochet and Santos Escobar. Mm-hmm. So that's an exciting field to me. I think it's pretty much down. I think I am pretty sure that Damian Priest or LA Knight are going to win it.
My prediction is LA Knight just because he keeps showing up on Twitter and I don't even follow WWE. So like clearly
they got him in the machine.
Right, like clearly he's being pushed.
But I think it's gonna be whatever, whoever wins, it'll be exciting. Mm-hmm. I think the problem WWE has right now is like this. First of all, Bloodline story is incredible.
Yeah, I have been checking for that.
One of the best this long term wrestling stories I've ever seen in my life.
And it looks like they might be doing a thing where they might have one of the Usos dethrone Roman Reigns.
I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they are.
I think they should.
I think they're doing this as they are prepping something and another wrestler to be the guy. I think it's going to be Drew McIntyre. He hasn't been on TV in a long time, and he's been working out his contract, so I think it might be him. But we'll see. And then the women's Money in the Bank. Ooh, I know Io's in it. Obviously, I want her to win. Favorite female wrestler. I would love for her to win it. I believe Bayley's in it too. I believe Zoe Stark might be in it. I don't know. Becky Lynch is in it. I think Trish Stratus is in it.
She's back wrestling again?
Yep, her and Becky been feuding. Her promos are terrible. So yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting. We'll see how that goes. AEW Collision was on Saturday. First episode is in Chicago. It was interesting to see the reception for CM Punk. Like obviously it's in Chicago, so yeah. I knew they were gonna love him, but there were some boos, man. There was a couple boos. The show was
not as welcome, bro.
Facts. That's another guy. He's annoying. I can't stand him. But the show was fire. The main event was dope. Andrade versus Buddy Matthews. That match slapped. That match was really dope. It's good to have Andrade back. It's good to have Miro back. It's two great.
I feel like they made this show specifically to like finally have something to do with them. Yeah,
maybe. But
they shouldn't have taken this. But
absolutely not. It's like now you might as well get rid of Rampage because you don't need 3 shows. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, that's a quick wrestling recap. So I want to do something here, right? Mm-hmm. We're gonna call this the SwordCast Wrestling GOAT series. Every time we do an episode, we're each just gonna nominate one wrestler that we think has a legitimate case to be the greatest of all time. You can say a little bit about him, why you think so. Then once we get a bunch of names, we're gonna do a goat wrestling goats tournament. I'm gonna have people vote. So
I hope you don't get disappointed with this, because I know I know your taste in wrestling goats.
I'm sure
is a little different than your average wrestling fan.
Yeah, I'm sure I will get.
The good news is we got some legitimate wrestling fans in the group.
We do, and some legitimate wrestlers in the group.
Yes,
Got some
shout
pro
out to
wrestlers
JC
in the
Vega.
group. But yeah, man. So who's gonna be your first nominee for the Wrestling GOAT series?
I mean, come on, bro.
A wrestler that you think has a case to be the greatest of all time.
I don't think he'll win this, but I can't not nominate my boy. It's Sting.
That video was hilarious.
Yeah, that was really funny. I mean, it's my favorite wrestler of all time. Like he really turned me on to wrestling. Like just the real. It was through Sting that I realized that wrestling is just comic books. It's just live action comic books.
Man, like can't stress that enough. Like characters who suspend your belief, man, and then like can wrestle on top of that.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it was
go wrong.
Him and the Ultimate Warrior were a tag team, as everybody knows, but like it was very clear one of them niggas couldn't wrestle and the other one was excellent.
Woo! That boy Ultimate Warrior, dog.
That nigga was weak.
Oh my gosh.
He was bad. He was just strong and
he was tricking y'all.
He was strong and steroidy. Right. That was it. I mean, it wasn't his finisher just like a clothesline? Like that's like the only move he did.
His finisher was like a
it was like a gorilla press
and then a little body splash.
Yeah.
Like couldn't jump over a pillowcase.
Yeah, bro.
And you know the thing that I've always heard about Warrior that was crazy was like he didn't even care. Like, he didn't want to get good at it.
Yeah, he was like a straight up like kind of an awful person.
He was.
So, fuck him.
So
but yeah, man, Sting, man, he's and just having the length of relevancy and career that he's had, like one of the few examples of a super late in career, like resurgence in terms of his relevancy, like
master of reinventing himself, which is so important in wrestling. And you know, a generation defining rivalry with the NWO, like that whole they botched the match at Starrcade, but as far as the build up, like that length and the way that story worked and the way that the Sting character was presented,
he was a superhero, bro.
Yeah, like that's some of the greatest build up like and of all time, and maybe the best built match in wrestling history.
And even the brief moment of him like joining the Wolfpack like that,
yeah,
I was so hype when that happened. Dog.
Yeah, Red and Black Sting, and it was like Surfer Sting energy and personality, but the Crow Sting look.
Yes, bro. So fire.
It was dope. Yeah, man, I love Sting. I agree. That's a good one. And just not even just the that period, but even before, like Surfer Sting was dope.
He was already like a legendary wrestler before that part. He was already like 12 years into his career when that happened. And was already like a 2 or 3 time world champion, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was already a vet. So that was a big, way of reinventing himself to stay relevant, stay cool. And even like I said, when I think of just that build, man, I don't know if there's a better built match. Maybe Undertaker and Kane, WrestleMania 14. That was insane too. Like, and not for the record, we're not talking about the actual match. We're talking about the build and the story behind it. The Undertaker and Kane build up and story was good. I
thought Kane was from hell. Like I thought that nigga was. I thought he was a actual demon from hell.
I still remember at oh my gosh, at In Your House, Bad Blood, when he debuted and tore the door off the cage, and Vince would not shut up. Oh my God, it's Kane. It's gotta be Kane. It's Kane. It's Kane. It's Kane. Vince McMahon. But yeah, that's a great one. So my nominee for my first one I'm going to do here to nominate a wrestler that has a case to be the greatest wrestler of all time. Don't worry, I'm going to nominate my favorite wrestler ever, but I want to get this one off so we don't forget about it. I'm going to say Bret the Hitman Hart.
Hey.
Bret Hart, this is my brother's favorite wrestler. Shout out to the homie Handsome Bane. Eric, this is his favorite wrestler. I just think, man, I think Bret was everything you want in a professional wrestler, man. Like, he had the look.
He really had the
like
look, bro.
he had a cool name like Hitman.
Yep.
But he wasn't like this was a guy who was named the Hitman in the 90s, where all these wrestlers had these just ridiculous, they were like employees, like they were like IRS or like
the repo man.
Repo man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And this is a guy whose name was Hitman, but it wasn't like some corny. It wasn't nothing corny. That was just his name. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just cool as fuck.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And like the glasses, like had the look, the music.
Bro, those are the sweetest sunglasses fucking of all time, bro.
And
Him and Garnet from Steven Universe, like just make those glasses amazing.
Best shades ever. And then all this, everything that goes into it, the look, the personality, the promos, the ring, the entrance gear, the glasses, the hair,
the leather jacket,
everything. And then on top of that, this dude was an amazing wrestler in the ring. And like, my favorite thing about Bret is everything he did, man. It was like, my favorite thing about my favorite wrestler of all time, Great Muta, he just moved so differently. Like, everything he did was cool. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And like, when I think about Bret, he just had like that snap to all his moves. Like, they had that snap to it that you just didn't see. Like the backbreaker, the Russian leg sweep, the suplex, everything he did just had like a sudden like snap to it, and it was so explosive. Good. And he was obviously amazing. And then when you like look back on the history and you find out all these things that was going on, like he was like just a stand up, like, you know what I'm saying, person, and somebody who really valued the business period, you know what I'm saying. And when you hear about all the Shawn Michaels stuff, and just like there's so many good stories about Bret. My favorite is SummerSlam '92, right, where British Bulldog was completely blown out of his mind on cocaine, and Bret had to literally had to just carry him through a classic match at SummerSlam in 1992. And then just, you know, growing up, he was always my brother's favorite. I was an Undertaker guy, but I just think Bret, man, when I think of like somebody who just is everything that goes into being like an all-time great wrestler, like he's literally always the first person I think of. I think Bret Hart is definitely one of the greatest wrestlers of all time and has a case to be the legitimate GOAT, man, and somebody who played both sides of the fence, man, was a great babyface, was a great whiny heel, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is a guy who built Stone Cold Steve Austin pretty much.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a guy who, if you don't have, you know, WrestleMania 13, Bret Hart, maybe there's no Stone Cold, you know what I'm saying?
The double turn.
The double turn. So boom. There we go. All right, man, moving on. Kraven the Hunter Red Band trailer dropped. What do you think?
You know what, bro? I expected to hate it, and I only like moderately disliked it. I thought it was significantly better than I expected. Only because I expected it to be trash.
Right.
I get there's a major critique going around that I totally get, and I don't understand because Aaron Taylor Johnson is a good enough actor to do it. He did it as Silver Surfer, but the accent, like he has like weirdly he has like an American accent while his father had the Russian accent. Yeah. But I like the actor. He looks the part. He looks great. The action looks kind of straight. Kind of like
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I was kind of like, this will be fun. I think, but I don't know if it's gonna be good. But like, it's better than I thought.
Morbius. I'm just kidding.
I never saw that shit.
I didn't either.
But I heard. But some people tell me that it was like so bad that it was good. And I don't like shit like that.
Guyver 2. So bad that it's good.
For me though, like I don't like when movie critics say shit like that. All that means is that you're fucking like, pretentious ass standards aren't as high as you think. You liked it because that shit was dumb, which means that your standards.
Means that you're making fun of it.
And like to me, no, like you can make fun of a shit and you can make fun of something and laugh at it, but then don't come back around and say it was so bad it was good. Like, no, that shit was trash and I laughed at it because it was garbage.
Right.
If you come back around and say that shit, then that means that you like dumb shit. You like silly shit. So like stop doing the pretentious movie reviewer thing if you actually like stuff like that. Right. It's fine.
You can say you like it.
It's no big deal, bro. I liked Fast X because that nigga threw a helicopter. I mean, Vince, what's his name? Vin Diesel threw a helicopter at Jason Momoa with a car. That was fucking cool. What do you want from me? Was it a piece of cinema masterpiece? Of course not. Like, it was ridiculous. It was a Tom and Jerry cartoon. It was fucking slapstick cartoon Saturday morning cartoon violence. Like, but I liked it. It was fun. Anyways.
Oh man, that's great. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of in the same boat. I was expecting not to like it. Looks like it might have some gritty violence, so I'm here for it.
He had a little knife work.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
It also made him into a sort of an anti-hero, and I don't really get that.
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
He was a flat-out villain, all the way
bad guy
in the comics. I don't know. I don't read a ton of Kraven comics. Maybe
I don't either, but sometimes it's like, if we're gonna do the solo film about the villain, I do feel like it's okay to make them the bad guy.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Actually,
we don't have to, tell their story like they were a good guy. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, especially if you're gonna make it rated R.
Yeah,
it's not for kids. I can understand if you want to make it for kids, you want it to have like a positive arc. But if it's for adults, make it so that he's the bad guy and the bad guy wins and fucking defeats the good guy. Like right. That'd be fine.
Oh man, yep. So you saw The Flash.
I did.
I didn't.
Yeah.
It's not a Marvel
movie. Yeah.
What'd you think about it?
I mean, I liked it a lot better than a lot of people did. I thought it was better than I expected it to be. So for me, there was like a swing factor. There were two swing factors. One, how distracted were you by the awful CGI, because the CGI was trash.
You said it was
it was Nintendo 64. There were some scenes. There was one cameo. This is a major spoiler. They had a really, really sweaty cameo of Nick Cage as Superman. In a moment that like
what?
Yeah, are you familiar at all with like Flashpoint and it's basically their version of Secret Wars where like there's a bunch of
Flashpoint paradoxes.
So like it was a moment where he was going through all the universes and had a glimpse of one version of Superman, which was played by Nicolas Cage. And the inside joke there for all the sweaty movie nerds was that there was, during that Joel Schumacher era of Batman movies, like Batman Forever and all of that, they were going to make, and they already they casted and like started to shoot a Nick Cage Superman movie to like be adjacent to that universe.
That would have been horrible.
Yeah, agreed. And he looked stupid as Superman. But they, for whatever reason, I don't know the reason why, but it stopped production and never came out. But they they showed that. And yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, it was a good decision. Good decision to not have that piece of shit come out. And I can already hear, maybe not Edmund, but certainly Josh teasing me about how Nicolas Cage is this like cagey idiot savant actor. I'm like, no, he's just white, and y'all give him the benefit of the doubt of being a kooky white man who's a bad actor. He's a bad actor. I'm sorry. Like I will not be moved off that stance.
Yep.
He's a crazy, kooky white man who's really good at channeling insanity, but that doesn't make him a good actor.
Crazy old kook.
Exactly. He's Edge, basically.
Oh my gosh.
Edge, starring Nicolas Cage. So anyways, that scene was all, and
That's a wild comparison.
The CGI on that shit legitimately looked like a PS2 character model. It was so bad, bro. It was so bad, dog. So like the two swing factors were
if CGI had to either look like Nintendo 64 or PS2 for the rest of your life, which one would you pick?
It depends on if I'm like, am I a cartoon or am I a real human? Because if I'm a cartoon, Nintendo 64 all the way. I don't know, man. Like, you're fucked either way. You know what? I'd rather that shit be like Super Nintendo, so they could at least, I would be 2D, but at least I would look realistic.
Right. I agree with that. That's
or like make it a PS2 like Street Fighter Third Strike sprite graphics. Yeah. That actually would be dope.
That would be. Now we're just making up stuff that doesn't even answer the question.
So anyways,
those choices were too bad, so I made some alternatives. What if it was what if it was sweet?
Yeah, right. What if this scenario where you presented two lose options instead had a win option? Yeah, no, I would rather die. Like, I don't want to be in that world where I'll have to go through life as like a low polygon like action figure. Like, I'd be basically like the Black Ranger over there.
Oh man, those Power Ranger figures were fire,
bro. To me,
they're
honestly,
so articulate. The only thing is their heads were gigantic.
They had big ass heads for sure. But like in terms of like getting into your game or your RPG or whatever you're doing with your toys, one of the best ever. Yeah, so articulate. I used to love those toys. But anyways, the other swing factor was, did the jokes land with you or not? And they landed with me.
Right.
And I was taken aback how funny that. I was like, there were a couple of moments where I was like cracking up. And I didn't expect that because I don't think I was ready I wasn't ready to be charmed by Ezra Miller because of how much of a piece of shit he is. And I felt I had, this is a controversial subject. Like, I know some people have chosen not to support it. I respect that. I went to go see it just because I kind of just want to get it over with and see how they set up the new universe. And he was good. Credit where credit is due. He was good in the role, but not enough to forget about the crazy shit that he was on for the past couple years. Like, they should recast him. But anyways, I thought it was pretty good. If you like DC stuff, you should see it. If not, no big deal. At minimum, they do what Flashpoint does, and they kind of did a soft. It was not as explicit as I was predicting, but they definitely still did a thing where like
a soft reboot.
They can kind of, I mean, there's a major spoiler at the end that I won't reveal, but they made it so that like, all right, whatever happens now with James Gunn's universe, you could easily explain it by Flashpoint.
Yeah. So kind of a MCU incursion type of thing.
Basically. Something like that.
Oh, yep. All right, man. One thing I want to do over the next couple weeks is revisit all the Transformers movies and rank them on the podcast. I recently watched one. I watched Dark of the Moon. Before I even wanted to do this, that's always been my favorite one. Haven't seen it in years. I watched it recently and I loved it. Thought it was great. I think Dark of the Moon is really good, man. Like, it's like maybe the loudest movie ever made. But just the whole first of all, Optimus Prime is so good in these movies. I love his violent one-liners.
Bro, he's so brutal, dog.
We'll kill them all. And then
give me your face.
Then at the end of that movie, it's like, well, first of all, I think this movie is excellent. I love it. I think the action is insane. I think from the point of the highway chase, right? So this is where they find out that the space pillars, right? They find out that they had those pillars and that they were trying to keep them from the Decepticons in this one. But then remember, they find Sentinel Prime in the Autobot spaceship, and they bring him back to Earth. And then Optimus Prime uses the Matrix to revive him, and just kind of assumes that he's going to be on their side.
Heel turn,
and then we get the ultimate heel turn. And then like from that point on,
Hold on, wait. Before you go any further, I have a because there was a point where I was really, really into Transformers, like on some.
Hey, well,
on some,
actually,
and I haven't gotten back into it that deep yet, but I remember feeling some type of way about the character Sentinel Prime because it seemed obvious that that initial character was going to be Alpha Trion, who is like because it's kind of was the same character of like the mentor of Optimus Prime back on Cybertron, and I was like, man, just do the deep cut that we were looking for. But then, and I think Sentinel Prime is also is he original character or
I actually don't know.
I'll look it up real quick, but I got the impression that they like
kind of like did that character, but for the movie and
just kind of like put pieces of him into
the Sentinel Prime character. Yeah, that's a good question. But while you're looking that up,
oh no, I'm wrong. Sentinel Prime is
original character,
and it was kind of the similar
design, similar
like role as well. He was the Optimus Prime's immediate predecessor. Okay, so that must mean Alpha Trion was like
what's ahead.
Was like way back in the day.
Yeah,
I'll look that up too in the meantime.
So we get the Sentinel Prime heel turn, and I just think like from the point of the highway chase, right, where Sam realizes that they got to get back and get the pillars because there's a whole bunch of other
real quick
ones.
Look at the like, do you see what I mean? Like this character was obviously supposed to be
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like the way that they designed it was clearly anyways.
Yeah, for sure. But just the point from the highway chase on, like that movie it slaps.
The action was crazy.
The action is crazy. The story is good,
and it was long too, wasn't it?
It was long, but I liked that they kind of traded the whole high school, college kid shenanigans for like a Decepticon government conspiracy. I thought that was cool. I do think that the love story in this movie seems completely forced, and it's like not needed and corny. And so like the first maybe like 15 minutes of this movie I don't really care for, but the action is off the chain. And the whole thing with like the Decepticons, like, you know what I'm saying, using men as like to, planning on like bringing Cybertron to Earth and then enslaving humanity. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like there's some really good stuff in this movie, man. And like Optimus Prime just being this like savior of humans, and like love when Megatron blows the Lincoln Memorial head off and sits in the chair. Yeah. And I love how he treats, they got that guy that's like their human operative, and he's talking, and then Megatron's like, "Be gone, insect human operative."
It's so disrespectful. It did not respect humanity at all.
Bro, love it. There's some really good stuff in this movie. Like I said, the fights, the action is incredible. It's violent. I can't get enough of Optimus's like Mortal Kombat fatalities in this movie. This guy's anyway, the action is amazing. Then you get Shockwave. He was insane in this movie. His design was like pretty accurate too.
Shockwave, he looked sweet as fuck. In his design, it was like a little exaggerated, I remember, but it was mostly the
pretty
same.
Sticking to the look. It was dope, man. I really do. I love this movie. I think this movie's awesome. The ending is satisfying. Like in my opinion, this movie, Dark of the Moon, is like the true ending to the Transformers movies. Like the stuff they did after that, like what y'all doing? You know what I mean? It was not needed. Like this movie ended on a good note. It was epic. It was great. I don't know if they should have kept making these movies.
The only thing they could have done after the ending of 3 was of course what they finally got around to doing now.
Yeah, for sure. But just go straight to it after.
You just got to go straight to fucking what's the name?
Galvatron.
Unicron. Yeah. And Galvatron.
Yeah, I think so too.
But then they did do Galvatron, and they did it.
They did it poopy.
They did it the worst way possible, bro. Like so trash.
It was weak. But yeah, I think I love this movie. I love Dark of the Moon. I think it's the best one to me. But I want to watch. I'm gonna watch them all and rank them. Man, this movie's so good. I love Optimus is such a goon. I love at the end when Sam's girlfriend, she kind of pits Megatron and Sentinel Prime against each other, and afterwards Megatron, what does he say to him? He's like, who would you be without me, Prime? And then he's like, time to find out. And this dude, first of all,
Yoga fire.
Stabs Megatron in the head with an axe, and then like pulls his skeleton out of his head. Fatality,
bro. He's brutal.
And then like, bro, Sentinel Prime's like trying to explain to him his actions, and the whole time he's talking, Optimus is just loading up a shotgun and just walking up to him. He's in the middle of talking to him. Like,
what you say?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, right. that fucking
such a
Wile E. Coyote ass. You know what I'm saying? Rootin' tootin' ass.
Oh
like,
my god.
Fucking with the musket ass gun and shit.
Man, Optimus, he's such a goon. In
Yosemite Sam ass shotgun.
Oh my gosh. We'll kill them all. Man, love it. Love the Transformers movies. We're gonna revisit these. You played Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't played it yet. My son will not stop talking about how much he loves this game. What's up,
bro?
man?
I have already said how much this game has impressed me. Like, I just didn't have any idea it would be what it's become, right? Like, not only is the story really good, it's one of the best Zelda stories, just the building gimmick is like insane, bro. Like, it's like,
I've seen, like, you were just showing me, but I've seen so much crazy stuff. This guy built like a tower turret gun.
Yes.
And it was like firing in a circle with like an insane blast radius and just hitting every single
bro, like
villain.
I thought, and because again, I don't watch trailers. I think I said this last week. I don't watch trailers. So I had no idea about, and I think the trailers did a pretty good job of like hiding that as like a major game mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started playing the game, I had no idea that was a part of the game at all. So when I went to the first shrine, I just thought, because in those shrines for Breath of the Wild, you had to do some activity to get the shit to work, right? Or to open up the gate to get to the end or whatever. And I just thought like this particular shrine had a gimmick where you needed to put a couple of things together. And then I learned that that's like a major gameplay mechanic. And the creation engine, you can literally do whatever you want, bro. Anything you can conceive of, bro. Like, people are making airplanes, they're making boats, they're making cars, and not just regular.
Right, I've seen some crazy like motorbikes,
bro. Like motorcycles, hoverboards. Somebody made I saw something today that like blew my mind, where you can set up these like pikes in certain formats, and the sound of a laser sounds different based on how far the pike is out of the ground. So people are using that to make music.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody literally recreated the Song of Storms theme
stop.
off of Zelda, or off of Ocarina of Time, by creating basically like a song. Those, you remember those old timey like wind up song things? He like made one of those in this game. Like, it's only a matter of time before somebody learns how to make a computer in this shit,
dog.
And you know why I know that? Because they did it in Minecraft. Like, somebody built a literal computer inside of Minecraft. Somebody's gonna do that in Zelda by the end of the year, I guarantee you.
Oh my gosh.
This game is gonna have crazy replay value, bro. Like, they've been, they come up with secrets and speed run hacks that are still coming out for Breath of the Wild. That game came out like 5 years ago. They're gonna be doing this for like
20 years
until the end of the Switch life cycle and beyond. This game is gonna have one of the most insane live half-lives ever. And I had no idea, bro. Like, Breath of the Wild was already maybe the best Zelda game ever.
Facts.
And now they just was like, hey, bro, hold my beer, bro. I'm finna. Wait till I pull this shit out of my back pocket. Y'all niggas ain't gonna never believe what we got planned next. And Zelda is good for a crazy gimmick. Every Zelda game has a gimmick, whether it's the flute to change the weather or the flute to fucking teleport you or whatever. The werewolf gimmick. What was the one for Twilight Princess? Was that the werewolf one?
That's the werewolf one.
Skyward Sword had something. I can't remember what that was. And Breath of the Wild had the open world was the gimmick, and now Tears of the Kingdom was like, all right, cool, we got the open world, but now we're gonna make it Legos. And so, like, all right, cool. So that's that's the best game ever. We're gonna make it Legos inside of a Grand Theft Auto, like real physics. You know what I'm saying? Minecraft engine, and you can beat the game and literally do whatever you want after that. It's crazy. It's just an amazing game, bro. Like, it's gonna be tough to beat for Game of the Year. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely gonna be tough to beat. I haven't played it yet. I am going to play it. Dude, my son, I'm telling you, man, like you and him, you guys have definitely made me believe the hype about this game and all the scores. And
man,
hold on, keep seeing people say that it's one of the greatest games ever.
There's one more thing that I forgot to do. That building system also means that you can fuse things to your weapons. So like, and when I say weapons, I mean your sword and your shield. So like, I had a flamethrower shield. So like, every time I guarded, every time I put the shield up, it was fucking shooting fire out.
Oh my god!
Or you could put a laser on that bitch, or you could put like a fucking cannon on your motorbike if you want. You can put a bomb. I mean, this is stupid if you did this, but you can put a bomb on the end of your sword. So, like, you can just swing that bitch.
You ever seen that episode of SpongeBob where Squidward thought that SpongeBob ate a piece of pie that had, like, a bomb in it?
Dog,
and
I've
then
seen this.
At the end of the episode, he trips and the pie lands on his face. And it, like, instantly, it's like an instant explosion.
Yep.
It's so funny. That's all I think about with a bomb on the end of the sword. Like.
So the best one is that you can put a cannon on the end of your sword. So every time you swing it, man, it's like you're shooting a Kamehameha. Every time you swing the sword, it shoots the cannon, and you're just throwing grenades out of your sword, bro. You could do literally anything, bro. It's crazy. So yeah, good game. Highly recommend.
Boom. I'm gonna have to play it, man.
It's good.
Gonna have to play it. Let's go, man. Let's get into the top 5 of the day. We talk about Zelda. Obviously, one of the greatest video game series of all time. Like, you just named a couple of the games. Obviously, Tears of the Kingdom, but Breath of the Wild. The game that pretty much defined this whole console, right? The Switch.
It's the reason why I got that in Smash are the only reasons why I got a Switch.
Then you got Ocarina of Time, and we get just all the Zelda games, man. Majora's Mask, one of my favorites, Twilight Princess. So many good games. What are your top 5 favorite video game series of all time? We're not going to include fighting games, all right? No fighting games. I always think fighting games deserve to have their own thing. So not including
because it
would have
changed a lot.
It would change a lot, and I think it just makes it a little more interesting. Not having fighting games on here. So let's go, man.
Yeah. So I had two outside looking in. Shenmue, bro.
Hey.
Shenmue, obviously Shenmue 1's my favorite game ever. Shenmue 2 I liked. I didn't like it nearly as much as Shenmue 1. And Shenmue 3, bro, like it was a weird experiment with the Kickstarter and all of that, and it was sort of a game that was intentionally designed to be from a different era, and not everybody loved it, but I thought, because I knew what I was walking into and it represented like what we remember about Shenmue, I thought that shit was amazing. So I had fun with that. There's only been 3 games, and I don't know that we're going to get a 4th one, so it didn't quite make my top 5. And also, this is going to be a surprising OLI, a surprising outside looking in, a surprising
I'm not going to lie, when you said mention. OLI, I was like, what's that?
Yeah, I know. That's why I went to find the other word. Honorable mention, Zelda.
Yeah,
I know, man. It didn't make my top 5, which is saying a lot, because Zelda has really never missed.
That is after this, I was pretty sure that
I know.
would be number
Now,
2 or 3.
It seems likely if Zelda continues on the run that it's been on, that it's gonna knock somebody out at some point, and it almost did, and I'll explain that in a second. But like the reason why it's not in my top 5 is because my relationship with Zelda is actually a little newer than you might think. The first Zelda game I've ever played all the way through was Ocarina of Time. And that was like the 5th Zelda game or something, like 4th or 5th game. And I didn't play Wind Waker. I looked at it and I wasn't really into it.
Right. So that's actually, it makes a lot of sense. I think Ocarina of Time was the first Zelda game I played all the way to. I did, but then I had a lot of my Zelda experiences on like Game Boy and Game Boy Advance because I played. I remember I played Oracle of Seasons when I had Game Boy Color, and Link's Awakening on Game Boy Color too. So I did have a little more of a experience on like the handheld system.
And I kind of, to be fair, like I never. One of either Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword. I think it was Skyward Sword. I straight up didn't play because I think I had my Wii U had gotten stolen by the time it came out, and I didn't finish Skyward Sword. So it was always one of those games that I was like I had a fondness for, but I was never like really a part of the fandom like that until Breath of the Wild. And I'm like, all right, I'm a Zelda guy now. So like I'm for forever. Day one cop forever, right? But this is new. For the longest time I was more Team Mario than I was Zelda, but I think the Zelda games are slightly edging out Mario games these days. So it didn't quite make the top 5. However, what might get booted out of the top 5, but makes it today, coming in at number 5 is Metal Gear Solid. And y'all know how fondly I think of Metal Gear Solid.
That's low to me for you.
I know, but man, Kojima, dog. Like the future of Metal Gear
is in disarray.
It's in peril, bro.
Yeah.
If there's any way Kojima can pry Metal Gear as a franchise away from Konami, it'll be right back up at the top of my list. But I just don't trust that like we're gonna get any more games. And I fucking love Metal Gear Solid. Like,
facts, me too.
And I'm careful with Metal Gear Solid and not the whole Metal Gear series because I never played Metal Gear 1 or 2, for like Nintendo. And I think Metal Gear 2 is like not even an official game. I think it's like a kind of a unofficial sequel. But Metal Gear Solid 1, one of my favorite games ever. 2, one of my favorite games ever. 3, one of my favorite games ever. 4, I didn't love, but it was still pretty damn good. I played what's the one on PSP? Not Portable Ops. Fuck, I can't remember, but I played it. It was good. And Metal Gear Solid 5, bro, like also one of my favorite games ever. He just doesn't miss, but I just hate the way that the series was kind of left incomplete and just sort of weird. So we'll see. This was actually number 4. What was number 5 that now has jumped to number 4 because of how amazing the last game was and how excited I am for the third game.
I know what it is.
Horizon, bro.
Yep.
Aloy, whoops, something happened.
Yes, sir.
Aloy just is the shit. She's just a beast. She's an amazing character. The game is sweet as fuck.
I know your number 1's gonna be. Actually, I know your top 2.
Okay, yeah, you might know my top 3. We'll see. So yeah, Horizon, just absolutely incredible. One of my favorite games ever. Both of them are in my like top 7 games of all time, right, which is crazy. I mean, it's just hitting a crazy batting average right now.
Fact.
Another one. This is unpopular because a lot of people get tired of these games, but I have loved every single one of them, and I stand for some of the ones that people don't like. Assassin's Creed, bro, number 3. Assassin's Creed, dog. Just, hey, bro, I fuck with it. I think it's a dope concept, man. Like one of the craziest, like foundational lore concepts ever, dog. I absolutely cannot get enough of the lore. And I hate the way that they are so afraid of the present day story. Like, I know we love to go back in time and murder people, but the present day story is fucking cool. It's a cool sci-fi thing. Let's do more with that, please. But they probably won't, because their money, they get their money. I can already hear, but the Ubisoft open world formula. Well, you know what? I like that formula. It works for me. I'm used to it. Is it super innovative? Is it a collectathon? Is it super innovative? Not anymore. They've been doing the same thing for like 10 years. Is it a collectathon? Sure, but I don't collect the shit that I don't want to collect. But is it a beautiful, super cool, and full of life open world? Hell yeah. And I love playing those games and being in those worlds. So I'm here. Can't wait for the next one. And the top 2 should be easy if you're a fan of this show. Number 2, Pokemon.
Hey.
Talk about a batting average that's high. Like, Pokemon don't ever miss, bro. There's some that we like worse than some that we don't like as much as others, but they're all good. And especially lately, as they started to kind of be a little bit more willing to take some risks, especially Pokemon Arceus. Man, that was such a good game. I loved
that switch up.
Hell yeah, bro. Please
do
more of that.
I hope they do more of that.
Please do more of that. We're fine.
I gotta go back to that.
Yeah. And then number 1, come on now, Mass Effect. Commander Shepard coming. I don't know if he's coming back or not, but Mass Effect 4. I don't know what they're gonna call it, but they're getting ready to come out with a 5th Mass Effect game. Even though Mass Effect Andromeda was a little disappointing, y'all know how I feel about it. Best 3D action ever, best 3D sci-fi action ever. Although Forspoken is a close second. Forspoken, amazing. But yeah, Mass Effect, I will always be a fan. My number 1 video game series of all time.
Let's go. Boom. That's a good list. I am surprised that Final Fantasy isn't on there.
Again,
I know that you came around to it late.
Yeah. It's one of those. It's on the rise with Zelda. But like, again, my first Final Fantasy. My first Final Fantasy game was Final Fantasy Tactics at my cousin's house in Ohio. And I was like, this shit is weird. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I can't stop playing it. So, and then I was super late to the Final Fantasy VII party. Actually, I played Final Fantasy VIII first, and then Final Fantasy VII as an adult. And actually, bro, I played Final Fantasy VIII and then Final Fantasy 13 and 14 before I played Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Sorry, 13 and 15. 14 was the MMO. So I'm a Final Fantasy guy now, but I don't have so much history with some of the rest of these. It's hard to like knock it off. But Final Fantasy is it's getting up there. If anybody's gonna get knocked out for Final Fantasy, it might be Assassin's Creed. If Zelda is gonna knock out Metal Gear Solid, Assassin's Creed might get knocked out by Final Fantasy. So we'll see. But we're not there yet.
Right. All right. So getting into my list, honorable mentions again. Zelda, man. Zelda's a big honorable mention for me as well. I really need to play. I gotta play Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't played it yet. Yeah. But it's kind of similar to you, right? Like, I played Ocarina of Time. It was one of my favorite games ever. Played in Majora's Mask on 64. And then I didn't play a Zelda game for like a really long time.
Same. Oh, I forgot about Majora's Mask. I played that one too.
Yeah, I didn't play a Zelda game for years. And then, like I said, I got into some of the handheld stuff like around the same time. Like, so I'll probably play like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, or Coast Seasons like around the same time. And then I don't think I played another Zelda game until Twilight Princess. You know what I'm saying? And then I didn't play another one after that until Breath of the Wild. And then I haven't played this. Love them. They're good. And I do love Link as a character too, but that's going to be one of my honorable mentions. Another honorable mention for me, man, the Horizon games. I love the Horizon games. I beat the first one, played the first one. I played the second one, but Forbidden West, I just haven't got to spend as much time with it as I want to, so I can't put those as high as I want. But let's go, man. Coming at number 5 for me, it's gonna be the Ninja Gaiden games.
Ooh, a little difficulty there.
Yeah, man. So I love the Ninja Gaiden games. I always think back to the the one on Xbox, the first Xbox, the first Ninja Gaiden game, 2003, 2004, around that time.
Was harder than
that game was so hard.
It was so hard, bro.
But it was like one of the first games that I played, especially at that age, like kind of high school, where like the game was so hard that you really felt like you accomplished something when you were progressing in that game.
And bro, I could already hear it. This is what the Soulsborne people say.
I know.
Whatever, fuck off.
Dog.
Like I get it, but I'm grown now. I don't want to struggle.
I don't want to struggle. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, like, do you remember the Shinobi game for PS2?
Yes, bro.
I straight up punted on that game. I never beat that shit. I never beat it. And I'd love to go back and like challenge it again now, but I never beat that shit. It was too hard. Too hard. Fuck off. Sorry.
And like these
I'm trash.
And like these games really did feel like their sole purpose was to like punish you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But I loved or enjoyed them. I had never really played anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Ninja Gaiden Black.
That was for 360, right?
That was.
Yeah.
No, it was 360.
Yeah, because I remember it came out for PS3 too.
Yep, and PS3, and then Sigma, and then Dragon Sword. Like these are all games that I just really, they were so hard, but I thank those games because they were so hard, and I loved them, and I played them, and then it kind of like when you struggle with a game like that, it really makes other games easier, like flat out. You know what I'm saying? So, and then again, this is a series where I like loved every game. You know, not going back to like the ones from, you know, the
like Sega.
The Sega ones. But even though I did play them as a kid and they were fun, I just don't remember them that well.
Shinobi and Ninja Gaiden had a nice little rivalry. And you know what? I'm surprised to see Ninja Gaiden win because Shinobi was dominant.
Way more popular.
Way more popular at the time.
I remember. Yeah.
Toe cramp. You ever get a foot cramp? Fuck, man.
Yeah.
I hate those. Sorry, that was weird. Whoops.
Coming at number,
panic for a second.
Coming in at number 4 for me. I mean, it's only 2 games, but this is just one of those things where the 2 games were 10 out of 10, and I just love them, and I am hoping for more. Yep. The Ori games, man. Ori and the Blind Forest, Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Just amazing stories. They're so beautiful to look at. Just the art style, the character. 10 out of 10, man. This world that they built for these games. I love both of these, and I'm really hoping that there's a third one down the line. They were saying there was going to be a third one, and that the character you'd play with was going to be like a humanoid character or human. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but the Ori games are amazing, and they really like. I love indie games. You know what I'm saying? But like these games really like had me checking out more indie stuff, man, because they were incredible. So I love the Ori games at 4. Coming in at number 3, I had to go with the Metal Gear Solid series, man.
Let's go.
I talked about Metal Gear Solid 2 when we did that Get to Know Me video game thing on here a few episodes back. And just like Metal Gear Solid 2 was Twin Snakes, or no, Sons of Liberty was a big game changer for me when I first played that, and then went back and played, you know, the first one, and then just from then on, like I love the series, the characters, the art style, and like you said, man, like they just announced like the little legacy pack that's gonna come out with all the games, and it's like Kojima's not involved, so it's like I don't know what to do.
I mean, I think it's cool that they're accessible again.
That's what I'm saying. Like I've wanted to play, you know, these games for years, and we were just talking about that.
Yep.
And it's like now they're gonna give it to us, but it's, you know, Konami has Kojima, he's not involved at all. I don't know what to do.
on some like super kind of they like. It's like a coup de grace type shit. Like they got rid of his ass.
Yeah, man. So, just weird, man. Whole weird situation. But these games, love them so much. So many dope characters and amazing lore. The like film level You know what I'm saying? Like story, just some of the best games I've ever played, and some of my favorite characters. Love writing, the spinoff, Revengeance, one of my favorite games of all time as well. Shout out to Metal Gear. The plot twist, man. Oh my gosh, like just it's like movies, man. They are. Coming in at number 2, I gotta go with the Mega Man Zero series, man. I love those games. I love Zero. Again, those are like my coming of age Game Boy Advance. You know what I mean? I always say Game Boy Advance is like maybe the most crucial game system for me, next to Dreamcast.
That's high praise.
Because it is, man. It is. Like, it's just, that's when I got good at Pokemon. Like, that's when I was playing these Mega Man Zero games and beating them, and they were hard.
Those games were super hard.
And the story is good, and it's kind of dark. And Zero's just a dope character. I love the way his new armor looked in these games. Just fire, man. I love those games so much. And then my number 1, come on, guys. It's obvious. You know what it is.
Pokemon. Hey. Right.
Pokemon, man. Let's go. Day 1. Pokemon Day Oneer. There's ones I like that other people don't like. There's ones other people like that I don't like. I just love Pokemon, man. And I always will.
I remember the day I fell in love with Pokemon. Before the TV show came out, after church, me and my cousin Justin, who I talked to, I think you met him. Anyways, I don't know why I got so caught up in that one detail. But anyways, we were out to breakfast after church, and he was playing this game on his Game Boy, and I was like, yo, what the fuck is that, bro? He had a Charmander, and he was at the very beginning of the game. He had a Charmander, and it was the first rival battle where he was fighting against Squirtle. And I was like, bro, why is your, like, what is that?
Bro, the music.
Oh
my gosh.
What is that? Like, how tell me more about it, bro. Like, and then after that, I was like, Mom, I want that. I don't know how we're going to do this, but
I want it.
I want that.
And it's
like,
just...
run me that, bro. Like, I need it. You know what I mean? Today.
Oh, man. Just being kids and experiencing the Pokemon craze in real time, just irreplaceable games. Love them all. It's just I even play Pokemon now. It just gives me a feeling that no other game gives me, man. Yeah. Love these games. Love it. Love Pokemon in general. So that's my top 5 favorite game series. Number 5, Ninja Gator. Number 4, the Ori games. Number 3, Metal Gear Solid 2, Mega Man Zero. Number 1, of course, Pokemon. Oh man, that Game Boy Advance era of Pokemon, that Gen 3.
Yes, sir.
Dog, best Emerald.
Best startup ever.
Man. Yes, bro. That little startup screen riding the bike.
Yeah, dog.
That's amazing. Emerald, Sapphire, Ruby, man, Leaf Green, Fire Red. That Game Boy Advance Gen 3 era of Pokemon games is untouchable, man.
And then when I was in college, one of my friends who was he was the first like Pokemon like super nerd that I ever met. And he actually kind of put me on the advanced strategy where I was like, yeah, I was still on the like, man, Charizard, fucking best Pokemon ever. He was like, I'm gonna hit you with that Stealth Rock and it'll be over with. And I was like, Stealth Rock, it don't even do no damage.
Right.
So come here, sit down. Let me show you how the real niggas play this shit.
Dog. And it's like, that's why I say Game Boy Advance, man, because I got good at video games on Game Boy Advance. Like, that's when I got good at Pokemon and learned all the stuff of Pokemon, man. Battle Frontier, getting smacked. You know what I'm saying, in Emerald, and then playing those Mega Man Zero games. Like, I really did get good at video games with the Game Boy Advance. Yep. So that's why I love that system so much. Boom. That's my top 5. Thank y'all for listening to episode 157. Forbidden Doors this weekend. Can't wait to watch it. Can't wait to talk about it. And we're going to run through these Transformers movies, man, and we will rank them on the pod. Thank y'all for listening. Peace.